Alright, so I'm going to keep this one a little bit short because I just found out some more information. I've been a little bit vocal about this, but I haven't been making videos about it. I'm just vocal about it on social media otherwise. So I was listening to Tulsi Gabbard talking about what was going on in Lahaina. And I'm not one of the people who are going to sit here and be like the direct energy weapons and stuff like that. As far as I've been able to see information put in front of me where I had to answer questions, I've been able to answer questions without getting into deep conspiracy theory. It is so much easier, honestly, to just set the wildfire and let it burn than to go through all of this complicated stuff trying to make. Anyway, the only reason you would do that is a trial run for something. Otherwise, it's just a waste of money when you can just, light a match and throw it in the bushes and that's it. But without even going into the conspiracy theory side of it, the human element here really needs to be talked about because we're not talking about it. So let's talk about the human elements as far as what the state did here. The state refused to set off the sirens to let people know that this fire was coming. The state was turning people back from evacuation points. State officials who were within the fire zone were routing people to the seawall. We are now a month out, and the first non-FEMA organizations are being allowed into Maui or into Lahaina to help. A week and it was exactly a month. It was exactly a month after the fire that FEMA finally let other organizations come in to help. Another thing that really shocked me after the fire was Honolulu deciding that even cadavers that could be identified otherwise, so we're talking about partially burned bodies, potentially being able to get some biometrics, like actual fleshy biometrics off of the bodies, dental records, things like that. Despite that, Honolulu made an order where cadavers had to be what's the word? They had to be identified through a DNA sampling process. So they would take DNA from these cadavers that they could identify from various other reasons. Like they could take the look at the teeth, they can take a look at the fingerprints. They're just like, yeah, we're just going to take your DNA. And then they turned around and told the people in Lahaina, who, by the way, are largely native people. Lahaina is it was the most valuable piece of real estate in Hawaii that's not owned by white people. And that's going to come back around at the end of this video because this is the information I got today. But despite that, them being able to identify these bodies in other ways, Honolulu made the order that it had to be done by DNA identification. So if somebody wants to go get their family member back, they have to also surrender their DNA to the state. And y'all might not know this, especially since most of the people on this channel are European, as far as the viewers go. In the U.S., indigenous people don't share their genetics with the government. Indigenous people do not share their genetics with the U.S. government. But now they have no choice if they want to bury their family members. Ain't that some shit? Now, the information that I got today, and like I said, Lahaina was the most valuable piece of real estate not owned by white people in Hawaii. It's essentially, once the secessionist movement came back to Hawaii, and it has come back ferociously in recent years, Lahaina became a de facto capital of the secession movement. It was essentially the last stand for the native people. Obviously they had, populations on all the other islands too, and they have cities and towns on the other islands too. But Lahaina was the historic capital before Honolulu. And it became a de facto capital of the secession movement because Honolulu is now owned by the white people. It's run by the white people. Has been for almost 100 years now. So Lahaina, and the people in Lahaina, I can't believe the governor is doing this to these people. The Hawaiian government is talking about doing a full seizure of the land. Now, understand, when they say that they're going to seize the land, that doesn't mean they're going to compensate these people for the land. As far as what the governor has said, the compensation or recompensation in this case would be for the seized land is free relocation to a new island in, a place, on some territory that might be owned by us. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I'm torn up on this. I'm really torn up on this. Guys, we are watching some 17th century shit play out in the Pacific Ocean in an American state against American citizens. Just because they're brown doesn't mean they aren't American citizens anymore. They're still American citizens. They are having their ancestral home literally stolen from them in front of us. The only compensation they're getting is relocation to another island and a $700 one-time check from FEMA. And we're just gonna watch it happen. I gotta end this video because I'm just starting to swirl now. But before I end this video, just to go ahead and tack on why you should be mad about this, I want y'all to go and try to find the videos. Where you remember I said the responders who were inside the fire zone routed everyone to the seawall, correct? Go find the videos of the piles of corpses that are being pulled out of the ocean, where those people had no option but to jump in the water when a typhoon was sending rip currents to the island. They are pulling hundreds of bodies out of the water. Go find the videos, because they're not going to be on your news. They're not going to make their way to your news ever. I love y'all. Be notorious, but this is about to hit a breaking point. It has to be the breaking point, otherwise it's all over. If we don't do something on this in 2023, this is the end. Just keep that in mind. If this stands, it's over. Be notorious.